Hey guys, this is Heather at Homeschool Culture, and I know it has been a while since I put out a video, but I do have lots of videos coming. I'm gonna have a curriculum video for my 6th grader, a high school video for my high schooler. We're not gonna say a grade, but I'm gonna go into more detail on that and why. And I also have lots of hauls. I've been purchasing curriculum since January. I should have already had videos out. Long story, I haven't. It's just because of work and medical, but I'm all well. And so I'm going to start pumping these videos out for y'all. If there's anything specific that y'all want to hear or talk about, let me know. If you're new to me, please know I have lots of videos on high school. I was a high school counselor and teacher, so I have tons of videos out there in high school, and of course, previous curriculum and haul videos as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it around and get started on the hits and misses for my 5th grader this year. I'm going to go through this quick because I'm going to combine the hits and misses with our summer plans for my going into 6th grader. Okay, so what worked? I'm going to talk about that first. Our ELA, we did Easy Grammar, grade 4. If you watched my video before, you know he is in 5th grade. He is dyslexic, has dysgraphia and dyscalculia. Not that I really think that affects this, but this was free, and I have a 5th grade one as well. And so instead of just letting it, not be used, I looked and it was very similar to the 5th grade one. So I went ahead and used this, and he actually likes doing it. We only do it twice a week, and we don't do every single page, but we pretty much finished. We have capitalization and punctuation left, which I might just talk to him and see if he wants to do this summer. For copy work, we did the Simply Charlotte Mason copy work. I apologize about the glare. And this is only 2 days a week too. And so he actually finished a book that we had the previous year, and we went ahead and finished that and then picked this up for this year. And it actually just kind of worked out that he finished this last week with the last page. All about spelling, level 4. We finished this a couple of weeks ago. And so I've just been doing review. So instead of moving on to level 5, which I did purchase, and I will show what we're doing next school year, which I'm really, really excited about because I'm bringing in some new things, but not for spelling, because All About Spelling is my favorite. And so we will definitely continue doing this. This is one of the curriculums I love the most. I'm going to show you this just real quick. I have him do his date, including the day of the week, the month, the year, etc., but spelling out like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., and his name in cursive. And I'm not going to show you necessarily that, but he always, because he has dysgraphia, I continue to use this larger print. But I liked this off of Amazon because most of these that are a little bit larger, the lines are a little bit larger width, go this way, which kind of still feels younger. And so he appreciated it going this way. And so I still have 2 of these, so I'll probably pick these up and use these again next year. One for spelling and then one for handwriting. Another thing that we do is daily word letters. I wanted him to start doing a lot of independent work. And so we had this from the previous year. So it's still 2nd to 3rd grade. But again, with his dyslexia, I think this works well. And he can get through it really quick, and he enjoys doing it. And so normally I'm not big on just kind of extra work. But if it's something that gets his mind thinking, which it does, if you've never done word letters, the way it works is they give you a word, and then the next word is going to be somehow use these letters or some of these letters. It gives you a clue, and then you have to figure out what the next word is. And so they have to know how to spell, etc., etc. And so this actually does help, I think, with spelling, especially your kiddos that struggle. And I would maybe even go down a grade. Okay. I know I'm going through this quick, but I want to get through everything and not make this a super long video. Again, kind of along the same lines, I have this Evan Moore 4th and 5th grade. I wasn't sure if I was going to like this. This is the first year I did it with him. I did it with my daughter before, but we did it 4 days a week, and he actually really, really liked it. He liked it because and the way that we did it was I had one of these left over, so I used this. He didn't ever draw. But I wrote the word each day. If it was a noun, an adjective, an adverb, we talked about that. We went over like all the information together, and then it usually gives them a prompt. I think it was only one of them that didn't give them a prompt to write a sentence, but it usually gives them a prompt. So like this word is compass. It says, in what situation would be a good idea to have a compass with you? And so then they have to create a sentence using that word. He thought he was funny, and most of the time he used me as the person, the subject of the sentence, which is okay because he was doing it, and he actually kind of looked forward to doing it every day. I know the Lemonade Escapade we're doing right now, Charlotte's Web, which is, again, he is dyslexic, so again, I know this is under his level, but he's not a fan of this book. But I told him, you know what, buddy, we're gonna get through it anyways. We did not get through Twitch, so we'll do that this summer. And we did not get through Shiloh, so we'll do that this summer. And for history, we did Mystery of History Level 2, which is kind of like the Middle Ages, and he loves Mystery of History, but we finished it probably about a month early. And so we picked up this book, Crispin, which is time level appropriate, and have been reading through this and doing narration. And so this is something I kind of added, and he actually likes it. So these will probably both go into summer. Well, this one will barely go into summer, but this one will probably go into summer. All right, the things we did not enjoy. What I'm gonna show you next aren't necessarily misses because I didn't like it or my kid didn't like it. It was more, I felt like I had so much stuff. I tend to do that. I overbuy on curriculum, and then by a few months in, I'm going, okay, I've got to set back somewhere. Especially if I think it's just busy work. I don't want him just to do a bunch of busy work. I'd rather him do other things besides that. So these two, Kumon's reading and writing, I feel like were kind of things that he was getting already. And the writing definitely, because a lot of it had to do with more grammar. So I decided to go ahead and just kind of stop that because it was like we were double dipping for grammar. And it may be later on in the book it would change, but early on it was like that. The reading, I don't know. We did the reading. There was parts of it. We'd read through the passage and then we'd answer the questions. And I do want him to really focus on reading comprehension, but I feel like we can do that through narration instead of this. It was a very cheap resource. I think it was like $6 or $7. So it didn't feel like I was, it wasn't that big of a deal just to kind of put it aside and say, okay, we're kind of done with this. Okay, what about writing? So I really wanted to focus on writing this year for 5th grade, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. We started doing the beginning outlining, which I showed you this book, which I think is a great book. I can't remember if I did a look through for this or not, but it really just gets them working. Like, here's a sheet page. It really just gets them thinking about topics to write about. So if I'm going to write about farm animals, then it really gets them focused on, okay, what farm animals are there? I'm not going to start talking about dragons if it's, you know, a farm animal, something like that. So it really gets them to focus on and to stay on topic. So I appreciate that, but he is just not ready for writing. He's just not. And so this how to write a story, we didn't even get to. Again, maybe future I will. I feel like it goes back to like, okay, again, and I know I struggle with this every year, and maybe you do too. If you do, tell me down in the comments, so maybe you're not alone. But I'm thinking, okay, he's got to stay up with his peers of public school. And then I think to myself, why do I have to do that? That's the joy of homeschool. I don't have to worry about that. But in my brain, I think, okay, well, public school kids I know are doing writing tests, like for their end of the year school, you know, test, all of that. He should be doing writing. But in all honesty, I really feel like we are more geared towards Charlotte Mason, especially with him. Literature-based Charlotte Mason approach is how, with some eclectic stuff in between, you know, mixed in. But that is, I feel like that is the way that we're going to go forward. Instead of trying to fight it anymore, I'm just gone, okay, Heather, this is more for us. Just stick with it and quit trying to go back and forth, back and forth. And then the last thing is this phonics and word study, because I just thought, okay, he's going to need extra help. But because we're doing All About Spelling, I'm telling you right now, All About Spelling is wonderful. We went through and finished All About Reading last year. And the All About Spelling just helps reiterate all of those rules, all those phonics rules. And so, again, and some of this stuff was like so easy. He was like, okay, I'll go do this. And it's not that it took too much time or anything like that. It was just really simple. And so, I am going to potentially utilize this in the future for some of those harder phonics concepts, I might, because I know there's some worksheets and stuff like specifically just for OUTH, et cetera, et cetera. So I am going to keep it and then just maybe utilize it where he maybe needs a little extra practice in certain areas. Okay, so that was ELA. For geography, we did this 180 days of geography. We also do geography in our morning basket, but this was more independent work. In the beginning, we did it every day, and he did everything. But because, again, of his dyslexia, some of these things like, this is talking about China. We did not do this one, for instance, one child policy. So they have to read through all of this information and then answer questions, because geography is not just physical geography, right? I understand that. But I decided he actually prefers the mapping concepts of it, and I wanted it for independent work is the reason why we were doing it. And so we focused only on the map pages. Again, I apologize for the glare. And we I'm pretty sure we got through all of it. We might have 1 or 2 weeks left, and he did it 1 day a week, so he would do it on Monday. And we ended up pretty much getting through all of it, and it was something that he could do on his own. He actually enjoyed it, and so that was, to me, is a win or a hit. Okay, for math, we did Gamma, and then we started, oh my gosh, what is the division one? It's in our homeschool room right now. But anyways, we started that, and he's about 7 lessons away from finishing, so that's about 7 weeks, so we're going to continue that in the summer. But we did do all of Gamma, single and multiple digit multiplication. And I showed y'all this workbook that we bought that has this grid system, so he can put in the, especially like the 3-digit multiplication, he can put it in, and it just helps him a lot stay on track. I would recommend this for any mom or dad out there who their kiddos are struggling, keeping in those columns. So I just got this off of Amazon, and I think I purchased another one for next year as well, because I think it truly does benefit. I mean, here you can kind of see. So it really does benefit the child. So because of his dyscalculia, or dyscalculia, however you want to pronounce it, he has issues what that is it's issues with like rote memory, addition facts and rote memory, multiplication facts, et cetera, et cetera. So he can go in and do these, 2, 3, 4, that was a pencil. He can go in and do the work. He understands the concept, but when it comes to those rote memory, he has, there's a delay. And so what I was told whenever we went and got him tested at the Scottish Rite Center in Dallas, they suggested letting him have like math fact sheets. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great, but is he ever going to remember them still? Eventually he has to remember, right? 3 + 3 is 6, which he does. He's pretty much got his his addition and subtraction down. Now he's really focusing on multiplication. And so every other day, this is how we did it for the week. We did addition Monday, multiplication Tuesday, subtraction Wednesday, multiplication Thursday. And the reason why I brought in the multiplication, which he's not finished, he has quite a bit left of this book, because we started doing division, is because in the beginning we weren't doing the multiplication. So let me backtrack. So when we were finishing this, we just did the addition subtraction every day. And then when we got through this and went into the division, which is the yellow book, I can't think what it's called, we picked up this, so he would still be doing multiplication every other day. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is why my son, I really believe this is why he picked up his subtraction and adding facts, because it was just that drill work every day. And we will continue doing that in the summer, so he doesn't miss, especially on the multiplication, because not only do I need him to remember, or, learn and memorize the multiplication facts, but I need him to not forget how to do those step by step for that multi-digit multiplication. I hope that made sense. Okay, science. I already told you about history. So science, I split up into our 3 terms. We have 3 12-week terms, essentially. The first week, I had a ton of resources, but we did bird unit, and it was so much fun. I loved it. When winter came through and we had migratory birds, we really made it a point to go, this was actually after the bird unit, to go find out what these birds were. We got an app called Merlin, which helps identify by the song. the bird sings. You can identify birds and then look for them. So fun time doing that. Then we did Machines in Motion. I used this. My husband actually did this once a week with him. And then we also did, can you see the Machines in Motion? And then we also did those Smartivity, where he would build different things. Like he built a rover, he built a space shuttle type thing, and all different types of stuff. But he had a blast doing it, and so I definitely recommend that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and rewatch that video, and it shows all the stuff we purchased and used throughout the school year. Okay, the last thing we did was chemistry. I'm gonna say, I think it was a miss. He actually liked it. He likes this book. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. I thought I was going to like it because it's more on his level. But the way I don't know. I'm just not a fan. So if you're a fan, I apologize. If you're not a fan, let me know down below either way. Do you like these books? And maybe it was just the chemistry one, because they have a ton. And I thought when I first bought it, I was like, ooh, I could use all of these. But I just wasn't a fan of it. We did some experiments. I had a box of experiments that somehow got like put away, and I just out of sight, out of mind. So we're gonna mess with that this summer. And I had this Usborne lift to flap periodic table. And so we didn't really use it that much. And then this one I purchased, and I really just shouldn't have. I'm not sure if I just didn't realize that it was comic-like. But again, if your child is, at least from my research and for myself and for my son, comics are usually not the best thing for dyslexics because there's so much on the page. It's just overwhelming. And so it's really text that are bigger text and more white space is usually the best. So this was a miss. We didn't really pick it up. I might ask him if, hey, do you want to look through this summer and see what he says? If not, I'll probably just put it on Facebook Marketplace and try to resell it. It's brand new. Again, that was my fault. Okay, last thing, art. Okay. We are not artists. We have never been artists. I wish I was an artist, but we're not. My son really has no desire. Sometimes he'll go through phases where he wants to he'll do like Art Hub and he'll sit there for hours, for a week and draw and then not pick it up for months. But he's not someone that's an avid artist. And so I had this book that was just kind of like just working. Really, I did this for dysgraphia, where it just works on really drawing straight lines and then kind of, doing different colors and stuff with the stuff. We did it a few times, but it's pretty basic. And I think it's great probably for younger kids, even for kids that have dysgraphia for younger kids. But for him, he was like, Mother, I'm in 5th grade. Why am I doing this, And so, yeah, I probably wouldn't have picked that up again. How to teach art to children is one that I was excited about, and I tried. We really did. The first part of the school year, we went in and we did quite a few of these. He is just not interested, not even kind of interested. My son is not a creative. He just truly isn't a creative. Likes to be on machinery. He loves computers. He likes creating things on computers, but he doesn't like art type stuff, like arts and crafts that much. And so, I know we did this one right here. And so I was trying to explain to him, go create your own. He just wants to do what the picture does. Does that make sense? And so, I don't know. It just wasn't something he was into. We probably did maybe a third of the book, and then I just kind of put it away. Because again, he just really isn't into it. Last thing. Again, out of sight, out of mind. This school year was, if you obviously haven't been on here for a while, and that's mainly because I started my side business, my little side hustle business. I kind of really buckled down and was working on it diligently every day. And so, long story short, I was just busy. And then even trying to get all of these videos out that I want to do for y'all for the next couple of weeks. I had his stuff purchased for the 2025-2026 school year. I've had them purchased since January, February. Now I'm adding to them. That's probably not a good thing because I always overbuy. But I've had them since then. So I could have had it out in April and gotten this information to everybody. But I've just been busy. And then the last couple of weeks, I was like, okay, I'm going to start doing it because of medical things. That put it on the back burner. But I feel better. I am well, praise the Lord. So I plan on getting all of these videos out to y'all really soon. Okay, last miss, and only because out of sight, out of mind. I put it in a spot that I just never went to, was these window stars. And so you take this kite paper, which I was really excited about. It's not cheap. And then you make all of these different. So this is something that we can maybe do this summer or, throughout the year. I might even do it maybe one year for like a co-op class. I don't know. So that was that. Okay, so let's talk about summer plans. He is going to finish his division. I found this book in all of our stuff that I purchased from last year. So I'll probably let him mess with this and or maybe put it in his room for when we go to bed, like around 8:30 we go to bed. And then usually lights out by like 9:30ish. And so this just gives him something to do while he's back there. I might have him do this a couple of days a week. I think this I'm just done with. We're not doing that. And the window stars we might do. But what I'm really excited about is he is really wanting to get more computer classes. And so he loves the computer. We don't really play video, like we don't have video gaming consoles, but he does play some games online, things like that. But I limit that. But he has a fascination. Like he just started, I don't know, we just paid like $30 a month, which we're not doing every month. We only did it once or twice, for this app building software. So he was making like these weather apps and things like that. And so to me, that's something that is money well spent because he enjoys it. He's not just playing video games, and it's something that he potentially could, use later on. Because of doing this app program, he's seen that coding would benefit him. In the past, he's always like, I don't really want to do coding. And, there's different types of coding, etc. And so he's specific on the ones he doesn't want to do. But I found a website. I'll put the website here. And it is lessons. It's lessons for, and I think there was 3 different courses that he could potentially work through this summer and just see if it is something that he enjoys. So we'll go through the first course, and I want to say it's a monthly fee. I think that's how it works. I don't think you pay for the course. I think you pay a monthly fee, and then you can do as much as you want on the program. And so I'm definitely gonna get into that. Again, I'll put the link down below. I'm definitely gonna get that going for him. And I feel like between that, math, this writing, doing a little bit of window star stuff like that, he'll be busy. Plus we live out in the country and we've got land and stuff. And so he does have a lot more chores during the summer to deal with. So, okay, that is it. Hopefully this will be less than 30 minutes after I edit and everything else. But if you're still with me, I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much. If you appreciate this video, if you would like it, please, and subscribe. I would appreciate that. And know I have videos coming out for his curriculum video coming out for 6th grade. I have my daughter's video coming out, there's so much going on with my daughter in her next few years of high school, going into dual credit, college, etc., etc. So we'll discuss that. I have tons of videos on here. If you've never seen my stuff before, I have tons of videos on here for high school. I was a high school counselor and teacher, so I have a lot of videos pertaining to like just getting ready for high school, and like if you have an 8th grader or maybe you have a 9th grader and you just want more information, planning out your high school, transcripts, all of that stuff. And of course, I have years of curriculum videos and hauls, etc. Okay, I hope you have a beautiful, blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.